This is the worst shit ever. This would not work on anyone with 2 brain cells to knock together. This might be the worst video he's made yet. I'm not even lying. Did someone pay him to do this? Should I skip ahead? Is there another point he makes so I can at least maybe debunk that one? I don't know. Yeah, look how much time he wastes on this point that doesn't explain anything. Are Gerby videos like handmade to rage bait me specifically?
But, you know, the chuds listen to this. You can...
That's me. Yeah, Gerby made a new vid. We can watch Gerby's new vid, even though I didn't really like the last one. It's funny. This was, I think, on old vids, but there were people seething about me reacting to videos on stream. And it's like I'm fine with, you know, people hating that practice in general, but what is it about me specifically? I mean, like, people will come up with any excuse to not just say they hate the SyntheticMan. I get it. You don't like me. I think that's fair. That's fine. But why you gotta pretend it's anything other than that when that's obviously what it is?
I always had hoop dreams, but I never had the height. I never had poop dreams, but I still shat the sheets at night. I just want to get out the hood, take off and take flight. Seems kind of like a plan. I used to be the man. Then I got into a fight. I ended up beating up a dick. It took me to court. But I didn't want to, I had to abort. Alright, let me stop. What's up, guys? White Randy Moss here. You know, everyone's always talking about looks max this, Chad that, Chad pre, Chang like, Rice cell, Mog this, height max, you know, peptides, Void shake, gel.
Void shake. I'm kind of glad that I'm not keeping up with this dialect anymore because void shake? Is that just a description of anxiety or what the is that? I don't even know what that means. Void shake? I'm assuming that's just anxiety.
Pilking, jester gooning. All of that's well and good. You know, squirt maxing, but
it's from an AI song. Bruh. All right.
We really have to get to the core of this problem. I'm here to present us a new angle, a new frame of analysis for all this gender discourse, for this dating discourse, the male loneliness epidemic, all of it. And high IQ incels have been talking about this for a long time.
Me, yep, I'm the highest IQ. Anyway.
But here it is. There are less available women per man than ever. There is a seriously skewed effective gender ratio. There are less single women, way less single women than there are single men. This is just a numerical fact. And when
the funny thing about this, like, again, it seems like his fans are pretty scrambled because every time I read the comments, it's just stupid joke shit and no one actually listens, which is very common in these Zoomer channels. You'll see the same with like Turkey Tom comment sections where it's just like dumbass, like basically Reddit, like upvote attention seeking shit. But the implication of that is definitely like incel ideology shit, which is basically just that Chad has a harem. That's the only way the math checks out, right? That's the implication.
Look at it like this, when people realize this, all of these things downstream start to make a little bit of sense. So let's talk about what do we have? We had this Pew Research data from a few years back. I've talked about this.
I guess if you want to see, I'll move over here. A lot of single black people. It seems to go against the narrative of liberals, I think. Yeah, 18 to 29, 47. 47 out of 100, 47%, yeah, 47%. 18 to 29 single, 47%. I just want to remind you how common it is to call people incel is like a insult. Now, of course, you know, most single people are not incels by definition, but at least like the meaningless normie definition of the term. Yeah, and then when you get to men, 63% of men 18 to 29 are single. 63%. And normal with not an ounce of self-awareness will roast incels and incel ideology when over half these Zoomers, over half of male Zoomers are single. Yeah, this is how I know we're I love how they've got LGBT at the bottom as well, like what the okay. At least it's pretty much the same for the gays. Yeah, men 62% for
Probably several times, but it's so crazy that it warrants a real deeper dive. 3 in 10 Americans report being single, but this varies by age and gender. What's this variation, you ask? Oh my God. Men ages 18 to 29, 63% single. Women ages 18 to 29, 34% single. How does that even happen? The way you think about it,
every gay says they're single,
girls,
even if they aren't.
Amount of them, they get together. Then how, on God's green earth, are there twice as many single young men as single young women? And people go, oh no, you just got to be more confident. You just got to joke. You just got to look, bro. There's something seriously fucking twisted demographically, like very foundationally going on here. This warrants explaining.
But again, it is a schizo incel loser belief that Chad has a harem. That is a loser schizo incel belief when there's literal data right in front of you. 63% of men single, only 34% of women single. So the only way that math works is if Chad has a harem. I'm just saying. But normal f***s are retarded. Then they don't know what numbers mean. People can't even read anymore. Jet Alpha can't fucking read. You think they can understand a graph?
This is absurd. This is actually absurd. Now, the way black pillars, the way some incels would explain this is that it's like a Chad theory.
Yes, correct.
Basically, there are a few guys taking multiple women. Like a harem, a hypergamy type deal. Now, I'm not saying this is completely false.
Because it's not false.
But for it to explain this, it would have to be very numerically significant. This would have to be happening a lot. Now, I can think of examples. I know things like this happen, but it's not that common. It's
okay. Are you saying your anecdotes are representative of reality? Because that's logic. I'm just saying that's. I mean, I know Gerby is very. I mean, just look at him. You can tell he's normie inclined. But those are worthless anecdotes. This is like the equivalent of someone saying, oh, dude, I know an ugly manlet who slays, dude. He slays 10 out of 10s. It's like, not only is it a lie, but it's also a meaningless anecdote, even if it's true. So I do not care. His personal experiences are worthless.
It's not that serious where every guy is dating 3 women.
Well, it's not every guy. No one said that. I mean, that's just a straw man. Obviously, we can see the data right here. It's not every guy.
Where like every attractive guy is dating 3 women. Every Chad is guaranteed going to be having a whole roster. Not, I know that stuff goes on, but not like this. Okay, we don't have any other supporting data to show.
Okay, but where would the data come from? People are asked survey questions. Do you think they're going to tell the truth? Do you think if you ask Chad, he's be like, yeah, I'm slaying like 8 pussies at the same time? No one's going to say that. And women lie all the time in surveys. So what supporting data would there be? This is the problem. This is like pseudo-intellectual tier. I understand, like, if you believe the science or whatever. It's not that literal because of statistics. But the point is, you have to understand where statistics come from to understand how you would get more data in the first place. How would you reliably collect data that Chad is a harem? There's literally no way. That is, you cannot get that data unless, are you breaking into people's houses, stealing their phones, checking if local Chad is fucking a bunch of bitches at the same time? You can't get that data. So you just go with the most reasonable explanation. Okay, and yeah, I know to normies it's not reasonable, but you know, again, we're talking about goy cattle here.
That this whole Chad thing is the reason why this is happening. There are better explanations. Okay.
Oh, really?
That's all I'm saying. And there are
Okay, provide them.
explanations which are kind of helpful because they can be made without making any judgments
Here
on the
comes the
character
cope.
of women.
Oh, yeah, that's how you know it's cope. That's no judgments on the character of women. So here comes nuclear level cope. Nuclear, omega, like beyond belief cope. No judgments on women. Yeah, here it comes. Here's the cope. Hold on. Let's go. Let's figure it out. I can't wait for this.
And I'm just as misogynistic as the next guy. There are sound, numerical, very neutral reasons that contribute to this that can explain this. And I mean, people won't listen, so I doubt this will like change the conversation or whatever. But you know, the chuds listening to this, you can
That's me.
apply it. You can change how you move because I think there's a real case here. So I'm going to bring up a couple reasons that explain this. First thing I will mention is that you may not know that more men are born than women. 105 to 106 men are born for every 100 women.
That doesn't even nearly account for this disparity at all, especially since, you know, more men die, you know, of non-natural factors.
There are many different reasons people have to explain this, but what's not under dispute is that it is true. More men are born than women. Some people say it's because there's more likely to be infant mortality among male babies. And after industrialization, this changed. So
okay, what does any of this have to do with, you know, more women being with Chat and I'll try and phrase this in a normal way. What does this have to do with there being more single men? Like twice as many single men as single women. This is no connection at all.
But it doesn't really matter the reason. We just know that it is. So here we have the population pyramid of the United States of America. Now you will see on the lower rungs, there are slight percentages higher of the blue side, the male side, and where this reverses is...
Yeah, this is tiny amount of percents. We're talking about literally, it was like 60-30 for men and women single. This does not account for nearly that much. Like, I get his audience is retarded, but are they this that they can't read the screen?
Up here among the elderly, there are more elderly women. But let's go down to the 10 to 40 range. We see in excess of 600,000 men in the 10 to 14. Another excess of 700,000.
How many of these are immigrants, by the way? Like, if I had to bet, if there are more male or female and likely illegal immigrants, it would be more male illegal immigrants than female, much like what is happening in Europe. So that would probably account for a lot of the disparity. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not counting any illegal, like, you know, Mexican cartel members as incels. I'm just saying. I don't think that counts as part of the incel demographic.
We have in excess of 600,000 to 800,000 men.
Yeah, again, illegal immigration.
Steps here of the population pyramid. By the way, up here, this is the reason you'll see statistics like New York City is mostly female. Oh, go to Latvia. They have a, 60-40 gender ratio, 60% female. It's not, you're picturing a bunch of young hot broads. It's this, okay? It's a bunch of grannies, okay? So granny maxers are rejoicing, but it's almost never the case that there are excess young women anywhere that you can go. So let's do this to really explain what's happening. I'm going to use the population pyramid of Japan because it's the most clear. It'll be the easiest. Japan and South Korea, they're sort of population
This might be the worst video he's made yet. I'm not even lying. Did someone pay him to do this? Did he finally find a woman and immediately he just started simping and pussying out and decided to make this for her because she was complaining about any pro incel content? I mean, what the f is going on? Did Mossad give him a call on the phone? This is the worst shit ever. This would not work on anyone with 2 brain cells to knock together. I'm really not convinced
that his fans are human.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, there's no way that you watch this, you're like, yeah, yes, Gerby, that explains it. It's just population disparity. That's why I can't get a girlfriend. It has nothing to do with me being a disgusting freak and Chad is 30 bitches. Thanks, bro. I'm gonna go cold approach 500 more women and get arrested. Yeah, this is terrible. Holy shit. Should I skip ahead? Is there another point he makes so I can at least maybe debunk that one? I don't know. I mean, again, I just think this is already an open and shut case, so what the f is the point of this copium? Like, I can understand the perspective of you can't blame women for their nature. I think that's fine. This shit that this video is doing, no, not this. This makes no sense. This is nuclear level cope. Then he just shows Africa, the population. Again, population statistics have nothing to do with this at all. It has everything to do with hypergamy. We all know this. In fact, he said this in some of his previous videos. Honestly, I would love someone to make a compilation of Gerby contradicting himself across his own videos, because I swear to God it's happened like 20 times. Now, he's also deleted a couple of videos, so you might not be able to find some of those unless someone's re-uploaded those ones, but he has definitely contradicted his beliefs like 100 times, which I know someone will be like, he grew up and he thinks different now. It's like, no, he's lost. Like all these other Zoomers, he's lost. He's trying to find his way in life. He has no firm ideology, it seems. You know, that's just kind of, that describes the apathetic Zoomer male quite a bit, which obviously the Zoomers here are the chud male, which is a very strong ideology. But I would say most Zoomers are more like him. They're just generally apathetic.
Of them are being expended. Throughout history, societies have always had a relief valve to rid themselves of these excess men who were
yeah, that's why everyone thinks World War III is going to happen, or Trump's going to drag Zoomers out of their houses somehow or whatever, because yeah, there's going to be a nuclear level of incels in the next decade or two, and something's got to happen with those people.
Bit of a destabilizing social force. This happens in the form of wars or some form of colonization. This sort of gender dynamic ratio where there are way more single men than single women, the opposite was actually the case in...
His point wasn't that there's more men than women, it was that men of all age ranges desire women in the 18 to 30 range, I guess. Okay, but that's always been true of all civilization. It has nothing to do with the demographics he showed. Like, there's no evidence to believe that 50-year-old plus men are dating all of the 18 to 30 women. I mean, yes, there are some anecdotes of that happening, of course, because they have more access to resources. But I would say it is far more likely that women, you know, given their naturally hypergamous nature, are just sleeping with Chad, and they call it a relationship, when in reality, Chad himself doesn't even view it as one. It's just him sleeping with some...
The boomer days, they had a much greater dating market, and this was because of the war. Out all of the older men. A lot of men are removed in war, but this doesn't only happen in war, it also happens in colonization. Spain and Portugal, in the case of Portugal, it was...
I mean, Europe's being colonized right now by force. Their own government, you know, brought in millions of refugees that are currently colonizing them.
Kind of a deliberate move to rid themselves of excess men. They sent them off to South America And that's where they started, you know, porking and created all the fifth root race or whatever. It's kind of the same thing too with Australia. After the Industrial Revolution in Britain, a massive class inequality emerged, and there ended up being this very large underclass of people kind of forced
Mitch
into crime.
Hedberg, I don't have a girlfriend, but I know a girl who would be mad if she heard me say that.
To survive with the inequality that emerged from all of the industrialization. And this underclass was the vast majority of them were men. Australia was founded by like 80% men. These were all
Gerby definitely took a trip to Hollywood and consulted with experts before making this video. Just trust science. Yeah, I mean, the graph's just complete nonsense. I mean, not only is there no significant disparity from male to female, but if his point was, oh, the bitches are all dating the older men, you do have any evidence to support that? Because none of those graphs support that assertion. How could you just confidently say incels' belief that Chad just sleeps around a lot is unbelievable, but it's way more believable that young women are all sleeping with men of, you know, from ages 18 to 80? You know, it's like, it's both things can be true as well, by the way. They're not even mutually exclusive. There are, obviously, there's plenty of men ages 30 to 45 who are dating women in their 20s. That also happens. They both happen. They are not mutually exclusive. It's not even an argument. This is what I'm saying. Like, none of this even addresses the problem.
All of this underclass they took and shipped off to Australia. 80% men. You'd think, how does that happen? Wouldn't this underclass be 50-50, you know, men, women, you know, just like poor people? No, that's not how things work. Britain had all these excess men. They had to send to an island across the world. This kind of thing is even happening now with the whole passport bro geomaxing thing. But the men are doing it of their own accords. They're just going somewhere else. It's like you know, I used to think.
See, this is internet brain rot. The geomaxing thing is not happening on any, like, significant statistical scale. This is the problem, is like, whatever the new average intelligence is, because we sure as hell know it's not 100 anymore. It's definitely not 100 IQ. We'll just say it's 90. 90 IQ people cannot handle statistics. Like, you as an individual, if you knew 10 people who geomaxed, you might think, dude, everyone geomaxes, bro. Everyone does that. Everyone goes to Southeast Asia. They go marry some, like, 16-year-old girl. And, yeah, everyone does it, bro. That's normal. That's 10 people out of millions. Millions of people. That is not a significant statistic on any level. This is the problem with this shit. This is nonsense copium, as I knew it would be.
I think this was very like modern and cringe. This whole passport bro thing, like going somewhere else, but it's actually just a modernized version of something that has a lot of historical precedent. Like, there's excess men one place, they go across the world and they find women there. That's what happens. Every woman is valuable. You need every single one of them.
Okay, that's simping, bro. That's so not true. No. Is he saying sarcastically? Well, let him finish the sentence.
For reproduction.
Wrong. Do you not believe in dysgenics, motherfucker? You should. You absolutely should believe in dysgenics. No. I don't believe that we have an overpopulation problem, but we definitely have an overpopulation of
subhumans.
That I do believe. No.
Propagate the species, civilization. Dudes, there's more of them born, and their real value comes in their physical abilities, their ability to do things, and that comes with a bit of an expendability. And some of them have to be expended. This is one of, like, the brutal truths of reality. I
mean, he's right, but at the same time, the watching this video are like, yeah, dude, yeah, Gerby.
Some got a
Not me though, not me. Zoomer Wigger, not me, homie. No, yeah, the people watching Gerby videos are the people who need to be expended. They're the people who need to be.
None of these guys get expended. You have all of them build up. They're all chasing after this same group of women who they're all attracted to naturally because of fertility. And none of them are dying. You have all these excess men. It's a little calloused, let's say, but this turns into a problem. It really does. It especially turns into a problem when we are not replacing ourselves, when we do not have a healthy population pyramid. But there are all these dudes now, all these...
Okay, would you like to expand on that? Because I certainly would like to hear what you think about which demographics are not effectively replacing themselves. Because I think that's really what the important part of that conversation is. Because if you just say, oh, we're not replacing our population, that could just be an excuse to flood in millions of Mexicans and, you know, not that the elites would ever do that to us, of course. But if hypothetically they flooded in millions of people from other countries instead of the native populace who built, you know, first world civilization as we know it and invented everything of it. Anyway, you get where I'm going with this. The point is you can't just say that because there are other solutions than just the good people breeding. And trust me, the elites, they don't like it when the intelligent, you know, free thinker, innovator type people are thriving. No, they want slaves, retarded slaves.
Access young men. And there's like no place for them. They're just on the internet rage baiting or like arguing over anime characters and shit. Like a lot of these people need to be cannon fodder.
That's
like,
true.
It would be presumptuous
that's the only
to
base
even
thing in this video so far.
Exclude myself from this group. But it seems like for society to function properly, a lot of dudes just need to get just need to be in the front lines, charging, getting blasted. They're just sitting around gooning, and we just need a lot of these dudes to die to even up the ratio, bro. Another thing to consider is that in many places, the vast majority of immigrants are men. In the United States, this is...
Okay, hold on. So he showed these cope graphs, and then he just straight up said what I was thinking the whole I know none of his ass audience watched this far in the video either. I know it. You gotta be kidding. Is this a rage bait video? Is this engagement bait for people who don't even understand what he's saying? And so I understand what he's saying, and I'm getting mad because it's like, this is incoherent. He's not even saying anything. Did he start taking fucking ayahuasca? He went to the DMT farms, spoke to Odin, you know? Like, what is going on? This is actually incoherent.
Not as much of a problem. It's maybe a little bit skewed, but we got the Latinas and stuff. It's aight. Most of the immigrants in many parts of Europe are vastly... a majority of them are men. And, you know, that causes problems. It would be one thing if it was a bunch of chicks. But then, of course, the British women would be marching around in Hugo Boss uniforms. India and...
I mean, as funny as that is, no. No, they would not do shit, as we've seen.
We can't see it here, but specific parts of India, particularly Punjab, has a serious male... excess population. It's crazy.
Okay, so what are Gerby videos like handmade to rage bait me specifically? I feel like the first half of the video was cope. Now the second half is going into based. I can't even tell what's going on anymore. Like, what does this motherfucker even believe? I don't even know. Trying to decipher Zoomer ideology is really is a challenge for me. I'm trying to figure this out.
See here, there's like 6 million extra young Indian men in every one of these rungs here. it's even more skewed. I don't even know how that happens. It's almost like a cruel joke from God. Punjab has 922 females for every 1,000 males. Canada, places like Canada, are just getting a bunch of these guys. So to summarize what I've said so far, more men are born than women. Throughout history, there have always been outlets where men went and died, or they went somewhere else.
Oh, okay. So this is how it goes back to his main point. It's basically women's hypergamy doesn't matter at all because more men are born than women, which is irrelevant to this discussion. And there's a bunch of illegal immigrants coming in, which is also irrelevant to this discussion, except for like the disgusting women here who, you know, have a fetish for that sort of thing. To not go into like turbo racist, you know, get my channel banned territory. Let's just say women, you know, to spite their fathers, you know, do disgusting things. Okay. That is not a significant percentage of the population doing that latter thing. I know we want to believe, oh, all white women. Oh my God! And other, you know, insert a racist thing that I was going to say, but you're pretty sure you know what I mean by that. But that's just not. That's not accurate. It's I don't know. I'll just keep listening.
A lot of immigrants into many first world countries are majority men. And finally, the inevitable consequences of a shrinking inverted population pyramid due to the average age gap of relationships where women naturally date older, men naturally date a little younger. This inevitably compounds with a shrinking population pyramid.
So so dating sites, you know, that women joining the internet and having access to 100 times more men that they ever would have in human history certainly has nothing to do with the problems of modern dating. Bruh. Surely, it's not that. It's just population fluctuating. Absolutely nothing to do with the fact that a woman could sleep with a Chad 100 miles away if she wanted to. No, it's population demographics. Again, I'm not even saying that this isn't a factor. It is a factor. But it is purposely ignoring the elephant in the room to not be seen as like a chud or something. I mean, this is just a dumb video. I don't know. It's not much to say about it.
To where young men, single young men, are overwhelmingly represented. You can find multiple single young men for every single young woman. If you just know a lot of young people, how many single young guys are there? How many single young women are there? You can even just think of it's real. This is what explains this in a most satisfactory way. Okay? It's what it's really it.
No. This is delusion. Plain and simple, this is delusion. He thinks that just some more men being born and also immigration is the reason why women will only sleep with Chad. I mean, all this is denying the experience of millions. Again, partially that's just due to how he, you know, his personal experience. Let's just be honest. We'll put it that way. He's not exactly ugly. So he will deny the experience of, you know, millions of sub-5s because that doesn't reflect his life. So he has to come up with this copium that it's actually just because of immigration, basically. And we haven't churned out the excess males yet. Well, in a time period where women have access to, again, 100 times more men than they ever did in human history, that means there's 100 times more excess men, mother. The 80-20 rule, dude. 80-20 rule defeats any of these cope statistics. That one annihilated any of this copium, okay? 80% of women only find the top 20% of men attractive. Period. There is no amount of cope that you could show on the screen that would somehow debunk that simple fact that we've been aware of for like a decade. So this is just a video for and his mouth
breathing subhuman,
like autism spur gas audience will probably eat this shit up because these zoomies have been like drinking and eating crayons since they were a toddler. Or something. I don't know.
It explains it all. It's why, as women get older, they're more likely to be single. Women ages 65 plus, they're the most single. Men ages 65 plus, they're the least single among all the male cohorts. You see how it's the opposite? And if we don't actually reproduce ourselves over a long enough time scale, this is what happens. It's very logical. And so this age gap discourse is interesting because, while on one hand, you could just see it as like seething older ladies and like a bit of an attack on what is honestly like a natural male sexuality, I'm kind of inclined to agree with them because I don't really want millennials in their 30s dating Zoomer girls in their 20s because you're not going to be able to do the same thing.
Skip it.
I don't think that part is completely cool. But if you think the dating ratio is bad now where there's 60% single young men and 30% single young women, wait, it just keeps on getting worse with what I'm talking about, right? So wait 15 years.
You know what's ironic? Okay, so I know I said earlier that if you just played Gerby quotes next to each other, it sounded like he's like arguing with himself because he's just contradicting himself constantly. But remember the video he made where men shouldn't view each other as competition? I thought that one was pretty good from what I remember. And now he's bringing up that millennials shouldn't date Zoomers basically because it would be competition. I know he didn't phrase it like that, but that's definitely like read between the lines here. It's just he can't escape it, okay? I'm not blaming him. He really is. He's not nearly as bad as like Turkey Tom. Like Turkey Tom is like the quintessential Zoomer. But Gerby's not far off. Gerby's at least about half of what that is, right? And you just can't escape your generation's poison. Like millennials, they got their soy boy shit, their consumerism slop, their all that shit. And I think the Zoomerism is just like this apathetic, like, hate each other, don't trust anything, latch on to anything vaguely masculine without truly understanding it. That kind of stuff. No real political ideology. And that's kind of just what I see here. You know? It's... I don't know. I mean, again, I don't even disagree with what he's saying completely in the sense that, yes, Zoomers in their 30s are going to be broke, so they're not going to be able to... It's probably going to be less effective them trying to pick up Gen Alpha women would be the equivalent, right? Because you guys aren't going to have any money. But that has nothing to do with anything. I mean, again, it's like what you just stick to the belief system.
When you're 35, when I'm 35, and say I improved all the way, dude. Let's say I was on peptides. Let's say, bro, I became a super mogger. When I was 35, I grew 3 inches. Let's say I look like Chris Hemsworth now in my mid to late 30s. It doesn't matter because everybody's just, all these inexperienced chuds in their 30s, they'll be chasing like the last 10 young women in the entire continental United States. Do you not get what's going on?
Excuse me? Did you just say the last 10 young women? All right, what level of delusion are we working with now? He went from there's slightly more men born to now there will be no women left in like 10 to 15 years. Dude.
I want... Are Gerby's fans human? Are they human? Are they listening to the words coming out of his mouth?
Holy shit. Yeah, yes, skill-based gamer. I'm aware he means the last 10 young available women. That's on so many levels, it's unreal. Women... The amount of leaps of logic you would have to go to think that these women have all locked down a man. That's not even what's happening. It's not like this... This is such I'm getting mad. It's not like this statistic says that these women married these men. They're just in a relationship. You know how long a modern relationship lasts? Like a week. Like Chad gets tired of her and throws her to the side. She finds the next Chad. There's not gonna ever be a time where every woman is taken. Like this is so stupid. I'm getting mad. Holy shit. This is to the Supreme. Like, what the actual... I'm so mad. This is the worst video he's ever made, I think. This one's actually really bad. This motherfucker, he's like... I don't mean to be a dick, because he's still young. But he needs to, like, sit down and, like, figure out what he actually believes. Because I don't think he actually, right now, believes anything. I think his mind is very malleable. And next week, he could be a super doomer chud incel. Because some of his older videos were on the way there. Who knows? Then the week after that, he's a far-left feminist. He loves women. He's going to worship the... Or maybe even... The point is, right now, I don't think he has any firm belief system. He's got to get there. He's got to believe in something. I don't care what it is. But this does not make sense. It does not make sense. Alright, I'm not gonna watch the rest. I don't care anymore. That was not even lying. That was the worst video he's made yet. That was pretty bad.